ces histoires la vie, des sans espoir, sans destinée. Jésus te longe même, comme lui mettait beauté. Depuis là, ça n'a marché pas à pas.
Hey besties, welcome to episode 1 of the Valerie Dantus Show. I know, it's been a minute, all right, but we're back. We had some time, we took some time, we explored, we saw, we lived, and we're back for another season of the Valerie Dantus Show. So we have a very, 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 very interesting episode for you today. You know, we're back, so we had to come fully loaded. We had to come ready. And this season, I'm super excited about what God is going to do because we are going to really dive in and discuss life. So let's talk a little bit about this new year. First of all, Happy New Year, wherever you are watching. I'm going to let you cross over into this new year with us. And one of the biggest parts of the new year is those New Year's resolutions. All right. I'm sure right now, by the time you're watching this, gym memberships have been abandoned. Meal plans have been thrown to the dust. You've already spent that $50 you transferred into your savings. I understand, okay? But we're going to talk a little bit about how all of our New Year's resolutions need to be centered correctly, all right? And we're going to do that with a very, very special guest. But before we meet her, let's get into the Eagle update. It's time for the hot seat, guys. And we have a very special guest here on the hot seat with us today. Tatianna Joseph is a Haitian Bahamian content creator, YouTuber, and entrepreneur who enjoys blending storytelling, business, and faith to inspire others. With her over 15K Instagram followers, 1K YouTube subscribers, she shares her journey as a young minister and fashion enthusiast, empowering others to embrace their authenticity and their dream. Tatianna's journey also includes her role as a young minister, where her Christian faith serves as a foundation for her mission to empower and uplift. Tatianna is a force of creativity and authenticity, inspiring a new generation to pursue their dreams unapologetically. Let's welcome to the hot seat, Tatianna Joseph. Oh my gosh, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm really happy to be here.
This actually, I don't know if you remember this, but this is like a long time coming. Mm-hmm. Do you remember our mukbang that never made the internet?
Oh.
We did, and it was a very good conversation, and it didn't record. Oh. So it was live.
That's
the people
true.
who watched it.
Right.
But all we have are pictures to remember that day by. So this is a long time coming.
You're right.
Welcome to the Valerie Dantus Show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Well, I'm a young girl in her 20s, just trying to navigate life. I'm a content creator. And for the most part, I feel as though being a content creator, I get to show the world what I want them to see. But at the same time, as I get a little bit older, I kind of want to show the world a little bit more about me, my life as a young minister, and just who I am in general. It's a little tough, but with life, with God, I've been navigating pretty well. And I would say with this content creation journey, it's kind of allowing me to be a little bit more authentic. So now I'm not just faking it for the cameras, but I'm actually having to be me. And a lot of people, believe it or not, they're not real as content creators. They just record.
We believe that.
I'm a just look cute for the camera, right. And then take off the wig when they go home. Like, y'all, this wig is on my head. It's not going nowhere. Like this, I feel like this is me. You see me behind the cameras and off the scenes. Like, this is just me, and I'm just happy that with content creation, I can still be me wholeheartedly.
I feel like it's all intertwined. And like the overall theme of this season of of the show is that process of becoming. Sometimes the woman I was before 25 and the woman that I am after 25, it's almost like two different people in some regards. So what I was comfortable with people knowing about me when I was 19 years old, I'm not comfortable now with them knowing. Right. And it may not be for a good or a bad reason, but sometimes just your mindset on those things
maturity
change
as well.
Yeah. So I think navigating that part of life sometimes is a little tricky. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like at a certain age, you're more open with your life. And then sometimes between experiences, friendships, and things like that, you become to close yourself off as opposed to when you first started out, you're like, oh, I don't care if people know. But now you're like, I'm hiding this part of me because when I shared it, it was a problem. So I feel like that may be, I don't know, I'm not her, but I'm assuming that's what happened, right?
Sometimes, not that I believe in the evil eye or anything like that, but sometimes, you're right, Jessica, you know what I mean?
No.
I just feel like there are certain things during incubation or while they're growing, I'm not going to share them with you. While I'm navigating this thing, I'm just not going to share them with you.
And as a Christian, like, I don't know if this is the correct term, but we shouldn't have loose lips.
Baby, take that in every context.
Yes, because I don't believe in sharing everything. I feel like because as Christians, if God gave us a word, right, and say for that word is only for us. For example, I'm going to go there because I'm a content creator and I'm on the internet, everybody else on the internet.
Come on.
There's a lot of content creators who are Christian, or they're putting Christian in front of being a content creator, and they're sharing that certain things, this is what God said and this is what God said. I'm like, did you ever stop for a second to think like maybe God only told you that and that word is for you, not the masses? Because that's how a lot of people are causing people to fall away from God. But hey, I mean, yeah,
that is a big thing. I've noticed like an influx of those videos too. That's crazy because I was just scrolling, minding my own business, trying to eat my wings, and I saw 4 videos of like God said. And the funny thing about it is each message was contradictory to the other.
Yes.
So unless maybe God led me
to
YouTube, you know what I mean? Like unless God led me, and then this happened to be the video that popped up. If I am one of those people, which there are people who are searching for a word, there's a difference between you being in the right space and the right opportunity, and God decides to confirm what he already told you.
That's different.
Through somebody else. That's different. But if there are people who do look, who search for a word, and what happens if that's what they stumbled upon and that was not for them, or it wasn't for anybody, or you just ate pizza before you went to sleep and God didn't tell you that.
Not the pizza.
Sometimes that happens, like sometimes you just
It'd be like that though.
All right. So as a minister, as a stylist, as a content creator, all right, all of those things are such beautiful examples of becoming, right? All that God has called you to be. So how did you discover these parts of your calling?
Wow. So I want to say growing up, my parents, they definitely gave us the freedom to be who we wanted to be. And I feel like, especially being Haitian, that is not normal. Hello. It's very rare to be Haitian and your parents just being like, whatever you want to do, we're going to support you. Because we know you're either a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. So it's like engineer. Yeah. There's nothing else. Like,
or disappointment.
Right. Like, if you're not one of those, you're a disappointment. But my parents, they told us whatever we wanted to do, they would support us 100%. And originally, a lot of people don't know this, I did want to become a surgeon. And I was really interested in the medical field. And I had my heart set on, I'm going to be a surgeon. Yeah. People kept telling me, it doesn't matter, like, you can do it. Then there's other people telling me, do you realize you're going to be in school your whole life? And I'm like, okay, well, that's what I want to do. As I came into my high school years, it was like, I'm not loving this anymore. I started taking AP classes. I was in dual enrollment. So I was taking AP classes and I was also doing classes at Broward College. And I realized,
this isn't for me.
Anatomy.
Hallelujah.
I was like, yeah, no, thank you. And then I'm like, let me switch to psychology because let me see how the mind works. Watch a documentary on a psychologist getting killed by one of her patients. Oh. And I said, never mind.
Oh.
And I felt like,
Well.
right. That made me turn away. So then I'm like, God, I don't know what I want to do. And I don't want to be a disappointment. At the same time, I still want to do something that I love. And I knew, even with me being a doctor, in the back of my mind, I'm going to have to be an entrepreneur. I love fashion. So I'm like, even with me being a doctor, I'm going to have my own practice. And then I'm going to have my own clothing line. And it's going to be like a brick and mortar, like a physical store. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I started studying for that. And then, long story short, I was like, I'm just going to do fashion. And then from there, I just started growing. Now I'm into graphics, content creator. And then I was like, oh, I'm really good. Well, I told myself that. Nobody told me I was good. I just knew I was good. And I was like,
That's the word, right? Sometimes you won't find somebody to tell you.
no,
What you...
only my family. And since we're in the hot seat,
Catch that, somebody.
there's a lot of people that...
A lot of people that you... Pilot.
So everyone can see that the journey that I'm on, especially as a Haitian, because I'm only going to speak to the Haitians because that's what I am.
Yeah.
You know, so in other cultures, maybe they're like, oh, wow, she's doing so amazing. She's great. Then you have other people that are like, that's not a real job. Is that all she's going to do with her life?
I think this is a good place to park for a little bit.
Yes.
I think...
And let me sip my water.
I think a big part of always talking about becoming and New Year's resolutions, and how you just explained how pretty much the events of your life led you to what you realize you were created to do.
Right.
I think oftentimes God allows us sometimes to make the decisions we want, to see that's not really what we want. And his hand, I consider that his gentle guidance. Sometimes I don't feel gentle, but I consider that his gentle guidance to your path, because I had my own similar experience. However, in that, I think the biggest reason why sometimes our goals, our aspirations, our resolutions don't work is because we're setting certain goals and resolutions and aspirations based off of the approval of other people. We're setting this goal to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a nurse, to be an engineer, or to be a pastor, to be a prophet, or to be a whatever.
Talk about it.
Based on the aspirations of other people and not necessarily the guidance from the Lord.
That's true.
And it's going to fail every single time.
Every time.
The Bible says that our hearts are deceitfully evil. Like, so it doesn't even matter if we feel like this is the right direction to go. If God is not sending you down that path, even if it's noble, it's still not pure in motive.
So follow your heart. When people say that, it's not godly. And
don't do
Your heart
that.
is so deceitful.
How many? Okay, because this is the whole thing about that. And I'm gonna try my best
go there.
to play this with as much decorum as possible. But I need you to just take your mind back 5 years to that man
or that girl.
That your heart was just so set on. Can nobody tell you nothing about that person, because your heart just said, this is it. We gonna grow old together, baby. You'll be dead. Bet your life on it if you want to.
Delusional.
Some of y'all still got friends you can't talk to because you cut them off for that person your heart told you was the right one. Your heart told you that. God you didn't even let God speak.
Wow.
God told you that was the one. And I'm speaking to myself too, baby. I say,
talk about it.
If you ever want, I feel like for me, that's what sobers me up. Like, my heart and my feelings can tell me a million things. And then I remember a time where my heart and my feelings told me something and it was 100%
opposite
% incorrect. So, we gotta really, I think before we set certain goals, I know it's cliche, it sounds cliche, but especially in our generation, we can just do this. We have so much information at our disposal that the idea of asking God seems a little bit
hard.
Why? I can just Google this. Wow, this is how you do it, blah, blah, blah. I have all the information I need to just get started and just do this and do that. I don't necessarily need to consult the Lord, but I will pray and ask him to bless it after I've planned this
did
everything else. So I think for me, at least, that's a big part of it. Our goals flop because we thinking about other people. It's not about pleasing God. It's really about pleasing our families or pleasing ourselves or pleasing the people who would criticize our parents for whatever, But I don't know, man.
Wow, it's getting hot in here.
It's the hot seat, baby. Let's see. And when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself,
Right.
resolutions can feel like quick fixes,
Ooh,
right?
wow.
So how has aligning your goals with God helped you focus on a true transformation instead of temporary change? So
Wow. That was a lot in one.
it is a lot in one.
Wow. In simple terms, I'm just gonna say this: change is very uncomfortable, especially when you're used to being a certain way. I feel like a lot of times I'm gonna look at you and come to you because you know me. So if I want to change, I'm gonna be like, Valerie, did you see that something was wrong with what I did? I'm waiting for Valerie to tell me, no, girl, I love you. You're a genuine person. You're cool. And then based off of what Valerie tells me there, I'm gonna be like, all right,
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. That's it. I don't have to change.
You're not wrong, sister. You're not wrong.
Right.
You ain't wrong.
But then sometimes we just have to be real with ourselves. Like, for an example, in this new season that I'm going to, the last season that I was in, I had to let go of a lot of people, of the way I thought, the way I reacted. And I feel like I said, it's very uncomfortable. So being honest, I was the type of person, and everybody likes some tea. So if you said, oh, I got some tea, I'll be like, oh, tell me, what is it? I want to hear. And then that'll be it. Like, you got me once you say tea. Now in this new season, I'm realizing, like, what is it going to get to for me to realize the same people that's coming to me
Are also going back the other way.
And then let's talk about me, who they're coming to me with something. I could spread this to somebody else. Now I'm contributing to this gossiping. I'm contributing to this not being a girl's girl, not being a true friend, whether a guy or a girl. And then I'm adding on to that. So I had to realize, all right, gossiping, I got to cut that out. And unfortunately, it puts you in a place where people don't talk to you anymore. Because now when I step in a room, I remember how she used to be, but you don't know me now.
Right.
So like, I'm on
they
my
take
phone.
your progress as an offense.
Yes, and they try to
They're
take that away
offended.
from because that's not who I knew you to be. And why are you changing? Like, now that I'm changing and I'm trying to be better, it's a problem. So with that being said, like, me becoming and stepping into my true self is kind of like letting God remove the dead weight, letting God remove what I was so comfortable with. I'm always comfortable with yes men in my corner.
Yeah, I think everybody is.
Everybody is. But then it's like, if you want to be successful, you have to have those friends that are going to tell you, no,
Yeah.
that wasn't you.
Yeah.
Like, you need people to be like, I know you thought you ate, but you did not. You're hungry. You're starving.
You're actually
not
fasting right now.
Right.
You didn't eat at all.
Fasting. Wow. In a dry fast.
Right.
Like,
That wasn't it, baby.
So me being okay with God, like, shedding the dead weight is the right term, pruning.
And that's painful.
It's very painful. So me going through that process, and the people that knew me years ago, they don't know me now. And unfortunately, people that knew me months ago, they don't know me anymore. When I say God took me through a transformation and things that happen in my life, I feel like because when you smile up and you show up every day, people don't think you're going through anything. So then when you say, you don't know what I was going through, what do you have to go through? You got it easy. And I'm like, little do you know what I'm dealing with.
I think that's the biggest offense, is for you to look at somebody's life or what somebody's doing in the world or whatever, and take that to mean that their life is just, everything is great, everything is perfect, especially as a minister.
Right.
I think, and my dad was talking about this on Sunday, about the term bleeding and feeding. As a minister, I'm giving, and I'm on my post faithfully. But Monday through Saturday, or whenever I'm not in front of everybody, you have no idea what life is taking me through or what challenges I'm facing. So that was like, that's a big point. So like, sometimes those things are what prompts you to be like, you know what? Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I can't live like this anymore. I mean, I can't, I got to make some changes to my life.
Right.
But that's a big point that you brought up, because I think a lot of people feel the push to change, but are afraid of sometimes that sacrifice. And I realized in some of my own transitional seasons that it still hurts to lose those people, or to lose that thing, or to lose whatever it is that you have to sacrifice for the next version of yourself.
And can I add something onto that? The people that you're so afraid of losing are the ones you're going to lose.
Yep.
Because it's put so much trust in them always being there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's my true friend, my one and only true friend.
I feel like every time you say that, God,
That's when God,
I'd be like, hold my beer. Just, oh, for real?
I'm gonna show you something.
Let
And
me
he
just-
shows you, and it's so bad. So like me, I've been trying my best to not be so comfortable with people, and then two, also not just putting so much emphasis on a person, because the second you do that, in a sense, as much as we say we don't do it, we're kind of putting them at the level of God or close to, and that's a problem.
I think that's why he allows some people to hurt us.
Yes.
I don't even think, and this is my own personal theory, guys, but I don't even think that sometimes the people who do us wrong or hurt us or leave or walk away or whatever they did to offend us do it fully intentionally. I think sometimes God allows that to happen.
He allows it.
So that you can sober up, because sometimes you get lost in the sauce. Oh, this is my, they would
Definitely
never
lost.
do this, and they do it.
Right.
I can always count on this person, and they can't be there. Even if it's not them turning their back on you, something happens and they just can't be there for you.
They can't show up for
they
you
can't show up
anymore.
for you.
Right,
And
right.
it hurts, but it's to sober you up, to make you remember. At the end of the day, I place these people in your life. They're my children too. And yes, I'm a believer that your friends, the people who are meant to be your friends, are a gift from God to you. But they are a gift from God to you.
Right.
They are not God.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And sometimes we forget that.
And they can't
you know?
replace them.
And they can't replace him.
Cannot.
Exactly.
They cannot.
Exactly. And I feel like in those moments when those people do walk away from you, I realized though that it hurts really bad. But
Too bad.
the way that I've grown character-wise as a person, not even through maybe the absence of those people, but what I had to learn to cope with their absence. Because I think in our culture right now, everybody's kind of got this idea of like, everybody's a macho man. Everybody's like the big guy, you know, everybody's the one that, you know, whatever. And nobody wants to talk about the fact that cutting people off or having to do that is a painful process. We're not supposed to be doing life just going around cutting people off. It's not healthy to do that. But in that process, I've grown character-wise. There are crutches I feel like I had that I don't have anymore. I had to bleed through that though. I had to cry through that. I had to be angry through that. I had to go through that part to understand that God had placed the strength in me to get through this. But they had to kick the chair from underneath me to know that I could get up by myself.
Which sucks, but it had to happen for you to kind of realize I need to go.
I need to go. Exactly. Exactly. So here's a fun question.
Oh, let me loosen up then.
So Haitian culture is full of creativity and expression. How has your heritage influenced the way you approach styling or the creativity in your work?
Wow. I think my cultural and me being Haitian has
Haitian Bahamian
has made me be a little bit more realistic. When you're from the Caribbean, we are not delusional.
No.
If you see someone that is delusional and they're Haitian, that's because they choose to be.
Or they are mentally, chemically imbalanced.
Because we are
don't
raised.
Have that.
No, not at all. We're raised to be very logical people.
And if you're not logical, they will force you to be.
It's like common sense, and they look at you like, what's going on? Like, this is common sense.
If you're short and you talking about something going to the NBA, they will sit you down.
Right.
And tell you, no,
there's
baby,
no way you're going to make it.
You're not
But
going.
they're keeping it real. They're being logical. Right.
NBA.
No, seriously. And like me approaching now anything else, I take risks. So I feel like that's another reason why people know me as Anna J more than they know, like, oh, your name's Tatianna? Because automatically I get introduced as Anna. So they're like, Anna, let me find her out. And they find me. And they find like Anna J, like, oh my gosh, your name is Anna J. And like I'm always saying AKA Anna J in my videos. So now I've kind of created a name for myself based off of like just me being a risk taker. Because if I never put myself out there, like there was not many Haitians being stylists. Like I started in 2017.
Yeah, I remember.
In our community?
I still ain't get that sweater. The
Oh.
brown sweater.
Oh,
If you ever bring that back, please put me on the waiting list.
I got you. But I took the chance, y'all, and that's what kind of set me apart. So with my styling, like I go in the paint, like you see me. I've also styled Valerie before, but I take people out their comfort zone and I show them. I'm like, whatever plan you came to me with, like I'm gonna honor it, but we gonna do it a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that kind of sets me apart.
Yeah.
So when I approach it that way, I'm thinking logically. I'm taking the risk.
Yeah.
It kind of puts me in a different category, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. That does. And I think just when you're stepping out into like maybe a non-conventional career or a non-conventional path, I know for me, like with music or even stepping out to do things like this or things outside of like the realm of being a pastor's child or a minister in church, the realism helps with the risk taking.
Yes.
Because I will sit myself down and say, all right, I'm going to do this. And there is a large percentage that it will not go the way that I want it to go. Am I still going to put myself in this? Am I still going to stand behind what I'm doing?
Right.
Yes. All right, then let's do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That is true. We don't really have, I didn't even think about that. We don't have no delusion. Well,
no, there's a lot that's delusional now because of the generation that we're going into. TikTok.
Yeah. Not too much. Okay. I'm still in recovery. Not too much. Oh my
No,
God,
but
TikTok.
social media has
just got back
allowed us-
here.
No, but social media has really allowed not just the Haitians, but Havens, all the cultures to be very much delusional.
Let's park right here for a second.
Oh,
As a Caribbean person, I'm not talking to everybody else. Everybody else, you could, I don't know, scroll or whatever you're doing. Just Caribbean people. Since when did we get comfortable saying and sharing certain things online? Caribbean people, I'm not talking about everybody else.
oh no, because you see, here's the thing.
What is happening?
I feel like it's a moral thing because as we stepped into a new era of like social media, there's a lot of, oh, that person did it and they went that far. I could probably push it a little bit. I'm going to push the envelope. They don't care.
So don't feel I want none.
She's saying embarrassed, like, are you not ashamed?
What? Bring shame back.
No, they don't care about shame.
I mean, like, don't walk around in shame. Don't be condemned. But please bring back
No, they don't care because they want the views. They want the likes. That's why, if anything, I'm going to be that content creator that they'll probably say, like, I'm too, like,
and that's okay.
safe.
That's fair. That's okay.
Oh, let's get into that too, by the way, because someone told me I need to stop playing it safe when I post.
What you supposed to be doing?
Oh,
Open up just
if you can try to like read between the lines, you know, I'm putting myself out there as a Christian, but at the same time, everybody that knows me knows like this is my personality on the camera, off the camera. But they're like,
what are you supposed to do? But okay,
I'm too sweet. I need to be more. What's the word? Provocative?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bon.
Dale go.
Oh. Well, I feel like this is my thing. Maybe it's just me personally. And I think the overall consensus, yes, there are people who feel like, yeah, you know, this is what you got to do to get ahead. This is what you got to do. But I personally feel like regardless of if the person is that way or not, the content that I enjoy are people who are genuinely themselves.
Right. Me too.
And if that means you are super conservative and you're sweet, or
I am not conservative by a long shot.
I feel like you're pretty edgy, but not edgy in a bad way. Edgy like in terms of like
I take
different.
The risk sometimes.
I feel like, you see, this is where we different. Parce que exactement pour dire exactly.
No, but I did. I asked them to tell me what they wanted. They wanted me to post a little bit more vulgar, like. But that's not my personality. So then if I started posting like that, I wouldn't be true to myself. They tried it and it flopped. Amen.
Hallelujah. Because y'all stay sending people to do stuff y'all
can't do.
I feel like that's another big thing. Everybody knows how to do everybody's job until it's their turn to do it.
That is true.
Everyone knows what you're doing wrong. Everyone knows that you don't do this right and you're not doing that right and this isn't working and that's not working until it's their turn to do it. What's that saying? Ain't no fun. It's not fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? So when it's their turn to do it and it's I'm doing the best. No, you're not, baby, because you remember you had all that energy for me.
Trust me. That right there saved me a lot because, like I said, to the point where I went questioning God because I'm like, if this person is telling me to post like this, maybe I should. For God to tell me, no,
we good over here,
right? But then I'm like, God, but it started working for them at one point, and then
it's going to flop, especially if that's not genuinely who you are. Number one, and number two, this is the line that you skate when you do that. If that's genuinely who you are, I think it's different. But when you're doing it for the validation of others, whether in public or private, at what point is your line?
Right.
Where do you stop?
And I wasn't going to cross my line because I knew it wasn't me. And I'm saying all that to say, like, even with how you said, like, just becoming and, like, putting yourself out there, we were talking about taking risks. I decided not to take that risk because it wasn't my risk to take. Child. That's another word. That wasn't my risk to take.
That's the thing.
So I didn't take it.
Because the problem with taking that risk is you're already doing this. So you already moved the bar.
Right.
Where does it stop? When you stop the influx of views stop coming in, when you do this, you're going to push the envelope a little further. And you're going to push it a little further and a little further until you finally become a person you don't even recognize.
At all.
And it's one thing if you are growing into a person. Obviously, the person I was 10 years ago, I'm not that girl now.
Right.
That girl probably wouldn't recognize this one.
Right.
But in a good way, for the most part, in a good way. But if I'm just pushing myself for the validation of other people, eventually I'm going to push it so far that I no longer recognize myself. Right. And that still will not hold their attention.
Right.
They will move on to the next more provocative, more vulgar, more abrasive, whatever they're looking for. They're going to find their shock value somewhere else.
Exactly.
So just do you, whatever that looks like.
Right.
Whatever that looks like.
Whew. Wow.
That I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like along this vein, I think this transitions us into the next question. I know that there are a lot of people, especially in the era that we are in, that are thinking about transitioning into doing content creation or putting themselves out there, whether it be their craft or their talent or whatever it is that God has given them. They want to put it out there. What advice would you have for other people who are on their journeys of becoming in this domain? I think a big thing that paralyzes a lot of people, a lot of young people, a lot of older people, is them never feeling like they're ready. So what do you have to say to that?
I didn't think I was ready to be a content creator until I really looked back on my life. I feel like ever since social media came out, I was a content creator. There wasn't a title for it at that time. But you can ask anybody who's known me from when I think Instagram came out. I was in middle school, I think. And it was kind of like one of those things where I always liked dressing up. So if I was going out to the mall on Saturdays or church on Sunday, I'm posting my outfit. And I always did that. And at one point, I was just like, wow, I'm getting some likes, you know? But at that time, the likes that I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of likes. It wasn't that many. But for me, I'm so young. I'm like, oh, this is a lot of likes. And then I started getting older and I'm like, I started doing fashion. So I'm like, how am I going to have people book me if I never show up looking a certain way?
Right.
But don't get me wrong, I never looked a mess in public. Yeah. But I was just like, I want to set myself up for success whenever I walk out my house. If I was going to church, I look good. If I was going to a party, I look good. If I was going to Walmart, I look good. Because my mom always told me, because my mom always told me, you see everybody in Walmart, especially when you know you didn't do your hair. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I walk into Walmart sometimes and I may look like a tomboy, but I look like a cute one.
I don't know. Bago
No.
aqui, sabe sobre.
No,
But
girl, you have to step. Let me tell you why. Because
I just be trying to get a little sachet pois and go back home. Like, you know?
I'm telling you, let me tell you why. Because when I started showing up online, like with success and also in person, I found that it made it easy for me to step into the fashion industry. And that's when I started getting clientele. It made it easy for me to become a content creator because now people are, I want to know more about this girl. Because I'm always seeing her dress up. I'm always seeing her looking her best. I want to see what she's about. Because originally when I started YouTube, my YouTube was really just supposed to be a fashion page. So I was only supposed to do like hauls. I was only supposed to do going to the mall, putting outfits together, that type of thing. It wasn't until I realized I'm pretty interesting. Let me just start. So people that are afraid to just start because they feel like they don't have all the equipment. I started with my phone. And at the time, I didn't know that the front camera for the iPhone was a little pixelated, you know. But I started with my phone. A lot of YouTubers, if you ask them, they started with their phone. The ones that started with a camera, they got money and they got resources. And they already got famous friends that's going to help them get there. You get what I'm saying? I started with my phone. And I always felt like my room didn't look good enough. My life wasn't good enough. Like, I had to polish everything before I started. Just start. Because you would never know.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just randomly, and this is why I'm like, this is why you just have to start.
Yeah.
Randomly, I did Get Ready With Me for church. One day, I just propped up, and it was on my phone. I had no lighting for the first one. I had no lighting. When I say no lighting, it didn't look like I was in the dark, but you can tell, like, the lighting now that you see in them versus before, it was like,
Yeah.
So I just randomly recorded and I was just like, I don't want to put a song over it. I'm a lifestyle person. So I like when people talk to me, they keep it real. Tell me a story. Tell me about your outfit, where you got it from. But to put a song over, I was like,
Right.
So again, like, just start and be you.
Yeah.
So I just recorded the video. I put it on my page. And keep in mind, I didn't start out with a lot of followers. Because this is my second Instagram. The first one was the one I had for years from middle school.
Yeah.
And for some weird reason, I just wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And by faith, I said, God, I'm going to start this page and I hope it grows. It started off so slow. I only had 1,000 followers. And occasionally I was seeing that it was going up, like the numbers. I posted the Get Ready With Me and I just started, this person started following you. This person started following you. This person started following you. And I'm like, oh, you know, it was a couple of people, but I'm like, oh, they actually like it. And mind you, it said they started following me from the reel that I posted. So I'm like, obviously this reel is getting some attention.
Yeah.
So 2 more weeks went by, I didn't do another video. I did a second video. That one did pretty well. And when I post on all platforms. So I'm posting the same exact video.
Everywhere.
TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube Shorts. I'm posting everywhere. And every platform, I'm gaining some different follower or subscriber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Fast forward, I was growing as a content creator a little bit, but not like, it was friends and family mainly, no outsiders. And my brother, Tyrese, and my sister-in-law, Daphne, they got married.
Yes.
So
I was there.
the goal was for the wedding, I wanted to create content. But I wanted to mimic another creator because she went to a wedding and she had like part 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know how to count, guys. I had to throw that
Not
in
too
there.
much.
Not too much on me. But she had like a 5-part series of a wedding. And I wanted to do that exact thing. The day came, and prior to the wedding, I prayed about it. Because, you know, I got to bring God in it.
Yes.
And I'm like, God, my page is only like 1,500 followers. For some people, that's a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like,
You know what your goals are.
I know what my goals are. And I'm like, it seems like I'm stuck in one spot.
Yeah.
I need to grow, man. I'm like, God, I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to do something. And that's how I talk to God, because me and God, we cool like that. So
That's good.
No,
though.
it's really good. So I'm like, you know what? I need to create content. Before the wedding, I told everybody in the wedding party, we're going to be doing videos. So if you see the camera in your face, don't mind me. We're going to be recording. Just go along with it. Ask for permission, because, you know, you can't record nobody's wedding without asking. So everybody was on board with me creating. They know I'm a content creator. And everybody respected me in that sense.
Right.
So I do love my family for that, because if I say I'm recording, they're going to be quiet. They're going to let me record. So I didn't get to do any of the videos that I wanted to do for the wedding. Even the vlog that I kind of put together for the wedding, a lot of the footage was lost because, like I said, I'm doing it on my phone.
Right.
So we were running late for the ceremony. And all of our makeup was done. We had on our robes. I'm like, y'all, we got to get at least one video in. Like let me not say something. God was pushing me to at least do one video.
Yeah.
And it almost happened where I was like, I'm going to give up. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to just get ready. But I was like, guys, please, before we put on the clothes, I don't care. Tika was yelling at me, my mom. I'm like, we're going to do one video at least. Because the video that was trending that I saw was, I'm not the bride.
Yeah.
I'm this, I'm that. So I'm like, we got to do that. We started doing it. And halfway through, nobody was getting it. So I'm mad. I'm like, this is not going to do nothing. I'm like, this video could have been paying my bills and you guys were playing. Like, it's not going to work. So I just let the video play and record. I finally got like a good clip, which is the one that's on my page. Yo, I posted it. And mind you, I was supposed to post it the day after the wedding. Discouragement. I was like, I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to post it. And finally, I posted it on TikTok first, and I seen some likes was coming in. But my TikTok usually gets more likes than my Instagram. And my Instagram, it was like, I forgot to post it there.
Yeah.
I ended up grabbing the video from TikTok, and I even deleted it off my phone. That's how discouraged I was. I downloaded the video on TikTok.
And posted it.
Posted it on Instagram. Tell me why. Within 3 hours, I was already at 2,000 likes.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, this is coming from somebody that I'm only at 1,500 followers on Instagram. So I'm like, how are my likes more than my followers?
Right.
So now I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I kid you not. I'm at 15K followers from that one video.
Jesus.
Literally. And it kept growing. Till this day, I'm still getting likes for that same video. But that's what I said. If you don't ever like post, if you never try,
you're never gonna know. That's literally
know.
that's how I ended up at 17K on TikTok.
Look.
But if I just was like, yeah, I'm not gonna post that, I would never know.
And another secret I'm gonna share, like if you see that you are feeling so discouraged about this one thing, that's the thing you need to post.
Yeah. Because
remember I said I deleted that video off my phone. I had to download it from TikTok. And mind you, TikTok, once you download a video from there, it's kind of like wonky.
It's wonky and it
blurry.
Had a little watermark.
The watermark was not on it. And the video came out HD just like yes.
That's crazy.
So I was like, I'm going to take that as my sign. I'm going to post it. And that video took me far. And it didn't stop there because I took that opportunity. Like, I was always the person that said, if God gives me one chance, I'm not going to let up. From that one video, I was so consistent on my YouTube. I started being consistent on TikTok. I was posting different types of videos. I was creating vlogs. I even posted the wedding vlog around that time because I'm like, let me see what this is going to do. Obviously, like one thing about content creation, numbers fluctuate up and down, up and down. But if once you get your audience, it's going to come back.
Right. And then you now you have the commitment. And like, I feel like God honors that. It pushed me. God honors that commitment.
Right. And like, I prayed.
What you prayed for.
It's so funny because my brother got married December 8th of 2023. Yes, 2023. And mind you, I recreated the page probably a year and a half before that. So I'm like, a year, I should be a little bit further than where I'm at right now. So I was like, God, before 2023 ends, if I don't see nothing with this content creation thing, I'm going to give up. I literally said that because that was how done I was. Yeah. I was over it because I felt like I was doing everything for nothing. So when I seen that the video
it's the compound effect, right? You're like doing, then all of a sudden you just see everything at once.
Right. Just start.
You see nothing, everything at one time.
Everything at one time. Like just start. I don't care if it's you being a streamer, because some people they don't want to like do like regular vlogs. Right. They want to stream like Kai Cenat.
Just do it.
You seen Kai Cenat, even his story, like before he was who he is now. Like he has a come up story. Everybody has a come up story.
You got to start somewhere, but you got to start. You have to start.
You literally have to.
Everything. What does they say? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
That's true.
Man, I think on that note, baby, thank you for being on the hot seat today, Tatianna.
Oh, of course.
Because I feel like if y'all
should be encouraged.
I'm full. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
I'm hot.
But yeah. Okay, stay tuned because me and Tatianna are going to play a game.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to play a little game called Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Faith it or fix it. Cue the jingle. So this is the object of the game. In this game, we're going to talk about 5 different scenarios. I'll bring up 5 different scenarios, and you will tell us whether we should apply faith or fix it.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Scenario number 1. Ooh. It goes like this. You've been praying for a new job, but you have not updated your resume or applied anywhere. Do you faith it or do you fix it?
You got to fix that thing.
Come on now.
Nah, you have to fix that.
It's certain faith without works.
I was just about to say that.
Hallelujah.
Come on.
Faith without works is dead, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't got no work either.
No, at all. You lazy.
Very good. Okay, scenario number 2. Here we go. This is a good one. You feel God calling you to start a business, but every door seems to close no matter how much you prepare. Do you faith it or do you fix it?
You got to faith it.
You got to faith that.
Because, ooh.
Yeah.
No, that one is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people. And most of the time, we'll just walk away from it. Okay, I guess it's not the right time.
No, that's a good one.
That's when you really put your foot on the gas and apply that faith, because sometimes what's behind all the opposition is what the enemy don't want you to get to.
I'm going through that right now with my businesses, so I need to faith it times 100.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So we're facing that one. Scenario number 3. You want to grow closer to God, but you've been too busy to spend time in prayer or read your Bible. Do you faith it? God know my heart. Or do you fix it?
You got to fix it. Because as a Christian, if you're not reading your Bible, you're not in your word, you're not praying.
What really are you doing?
Are you really a Christian?
Even if it's just a verse a day. My dad says all the time, you don't have to sit there and read.
The Bible give you verses per day.
You don't have to read a full chapter if you're not there yet. But one verse a day, and you meditate on that verse. You ask God to, show you, teach you through the verse that He led you to for the day. It's something, but nothing at all.
You gotta fix that.
It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's for all of us who wake up first thing in the morning and be on our phone.
Straight to social media.
I have a testimony, but God is working on me. Praise God. All right. So scenario number 4. Your big New Year goal is to save more money, but an unexpected medical bill drains your savings. Do you faith it or do you fix it?
An unexpected medical bill?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lord, I'm going to faith it
because you didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. And God seen what I was trying to do with my savings.
Hello.
So God got to do something about it.
It didn't say unexpected Telfar bag sale.
No.
It said unexpected medical. I still don't have a Telfeezy, and I'm real mad about it. But
me too.
We gonna get one day, friend. We gonna get it one day. We gonna faith it for that Telfar bag, baby. Because come on now,
gotta faith that thing.
All right. So scenario number 5. You've been asking God to send the right people into your life, but you have not been intentional about joining communities or being open to new friendships.
Oh.
Do you faith it or do you fix it?
You got to fix that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't ask God for something and then close your hand. Like, where are you going to put it?
No, that one is a good one.
You've been asking God for a man. You don't go nowhere. Oh. That's really for me. No, I'm talking to my own self right now.
Oh, so then let me tell you this, girl. And how you be showing up to Walmart, you need to switch that too.
Listen, my man of God is not at Walmart.
You never know. The same way you only going for a bag of peas, he might be doing the same thing.
You better not be in the meat section over there either. We gonna have to fix that.
No, but that last one was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't joining no communities. You're not open to no new people.
Church, and you run straight to your car. I think that's the thing, navigating in friendships, is that there is an expectation that somebody's going to make you mad or somebody's going to hurt your feelings.
Right.
But in navigating those, you find your gems. I know there are a lot of people that I met through other people.
Right.
I lost those people and are still maintaining friendships with the people I met
right
through them.
Right.
So
that same thing for me, like, especially now as I'm getting older, I'm realizing if I'm running away from people, I'm never gonna have friends.
that's a big one.
So everybody that when I see somebody screaming, I have no friends, I get scared of you. Because why don't you have any friends? I don't think it's the people, I think it's you. But you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I will say, this one is a little wild card. Let me throw this in there.
Oh, okay. Off the
Wow.
dome?
So yeah, happy explain. All right. This is your wild card. Okay. Scenario number 6 is our last one. Your creative ideas keep getting overlooked and you feel like quitting. Do you faith it or do you fix it?
Both, but mainly faithing it.
I do think it's a little of both. Like,
that's like me, what I said with the real thing. When I like the content that I'm always like so discouraged before I post them is usually the ones that do really well.
Yeah. Or like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna post this because I ain't post nothing today,
and then boom,
and
that be the one that does really well. So like I've been learning, I have to put the work in, but I also have to have faith at the same time. So now when I post, like, please, as you are, whether you're a Christian or trying to be a Christian, pray over everything you do, especially when you're a social media influencer, content creator.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you know how many people are looking at your page.
Yeah. Some people may never open up.
You got witches, warlocks, people with the evil eye.
Yeah.
People that's trying to be you too,
right,
without saying it,
or people who are in your life that are monitoring spirits, and they're not really here for you for real.
Pray over your page too, because a lot of people try to block your success that way as well. Because everything is spiritual. Yeah, that's what we don't realize,
or we don't like to hear.
Right. So I'm gonna faith it. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna pray.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. I think sometimes too, you have to pray for God to breathe like a fresh air over your concepts, because maybe you thought, okay, this was gonna be popping and it really wasn't it, and so now, okay, God, like, what direction should I go in? Like, I think a lot of us don't even relegate our creativity in whatever aspect that is: fashion, cooking, music, whatever it is. Our God is a creative God. He literally created the earth. He created all the intricacies in plants, in animals, in even the texture of flowers. If you notice, one to the next, they're not the same. Yeah. So like, literally, the source of creativity is God. Yes. So if you feel like, your creative ideas are getting overlooked, maybe it needs a new freshness, it needs something new, what better place to go for that burst of inspiration? I can't tell you how many times, like, I've just been like in a funk and then boom, I just get an idea, or I hear a melody for a song or something, and that I can't relegate that to anybody but God. And sometimes it takes both. Right. I need to be willing to put in that work. I need to be willing to admit that, okay, this idea is funky, it's not working, let's try something else. Right. But also, I gotta apply faith that, okay, God will lead me in the right direction. He'll give me the tools that I need. He will give me a fresh idea, a fresh concept, something, different for him. So definitely.
I want to add something to that too. Yeah. I feel like the closer you are to God, the more creative he makes you.
That's true. That's true.
Notice when we're always in the funk, like, we be okay with God. Like, you ever been in that place where like you're praying, but it's not like deep in prayer? And that's mainly when, like, I'm like, wait, I gotta go pray about that. That's when I remember I need to pray. Yeah. So when you're closer to God, he'll download creativity into you. Definitely. And another thing too, like, if somebody like does the idea before you do it, I feel like that's also God saying, like,
I feel like that's his subtle way of saying, like,
he's very humorous.
I love you, but I don't need you.
Right. He's very humorous that way. I tell
you to do this, baby, just do it.
Right. Right.
That's what he told Elijah, right? When Elijah ran away, and he was like, I can't do this anymore, and this lady trying to kill me, and Elijah said, God said to Elijah, I got 7,000 other prophets that won't bow. Like, y'all might think that God was being insensitive, but that's the wake up call that Elijah needed. I have 7,000 other men I'm not even using in the capacity that I'm using you, and they would never fold. Right. Never fold. And so what you're doing is hard, there are challenges. It's discouraging. But at the end of the day, it's a privilege to do it.
Yes.
Even if it is consecration, it's a privilege to do it.
Right.
And if you don't do it,
somebody else will.
7,000 other prophets that will not bow.
Let me add this too. Let's be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since the show is ending. If she never gets me again, I just want to add this. So a lot of people are doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I realize I can never be Aaliyah J.
Yeah.
I can never be Talitha Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I can never be any of those people, any of those other influencers,
Mm-hmm.
because I have my own lane.
Yeah.
But then there may be somebody coming up after me
Mm-hmm.
who has probably 20 subscribers, maybe
Mm-hmm.
50, with the best creativity,
Yeah.
the best ideas. And I'm like, but who is she? No, but who do you think you are?
Right.
So when you start getting like big-headed,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're getting the views, now you're getting the likes, I just pray to God I always remain humble.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many people say, well, I have more followers than that person. How are they doing way better than me? Well, maybe that's because the person, they're realizing that it's a privilege.
It's a privilege, and they're teachable, they're humble, they're willing to change,
Yes.
they're willing to adapt, they're willing to do what you're not willing to do because you feel like you done made it
Right.
already. That's
Right.
that's a big thing.
And then because you want to
In
play, God
every-
said snatch.
I think in every craft, the moment you start feeling like, oh, I know how to do this, the decline be so fast.
Very fast.
I don't care how long I'm singing. I was just telling my sister and a few of the youth kids here that in 2 years I will be celebrating, by the grace of God, 20 years as a worship leader.
Wow.
I started when I was 13. Now y'all know how old I am. I started when I was 13 years old. I cannot tell you that I feel like any sort of an expert. If anything, it's a testament of 20 years of the grace of God.
Right.
Because every single time, I feel like he's teaching me something new. I
That's
don't
true.
ever feel like, oh, I know how to do this, because I don't.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been guiding me this whole time. I want to stay in a position where he continues to do that. Because that is what keeps you, even in those moments where you're human, you mess up and you stumble and you fall. I'm never going to beat my chest, because his grace is what keeps me here, even though I don't deserve to be here
All the time.
So that's a big one, I think.
Yeah, I can agree. And I feel like too, for me, what's been getting me lately, like, I'm not an emotional person at all, but what touches my heart, because I don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go cry.
No, that's
Please,
me, baby.
please,
I'll cry for you. If you need somebody, just call me, baby.
I'm not gonna cry about it. But what gets me when I'm in public sometimes, and maybe I'm in another city, I'm not in Broward, I'm in Miami, I'm in Palm Beach. Somebody walks up to me because they notice me from social media. I'm like,
oh wow, like you're making an impact,
right? And ask anybody that says that to me, I'm like, what's your Instagram? Like, what's your TikTok? And I follow people back because I'm like, the fact that you came up to me out of your way to acknowledge me, to let me know that I'm doing a great job, or just to say like, I watch you, or I know your videos. I'm like, whoa, like this is, I'm like, God, really? It's still kind of like where I start cringing. I'm like,
yeah, no, yeah, I get
people
you.
are watching me.
But y'all need to start telling people what your debut's on there, because I might know you as my concern, but you Deuce Boy 54. I don't know who that is. I'm not following you. So please.
Now I be telling them, give me your exact name.
I'm too
follow you
old
right
for
there.
that. I'm not going
But
to do all that.
That was a good one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Valerie Dantus Show, and I hope you enjoyed our guest, Tatianna Joseph. If you would like to follow her, which you should, all right, all of her social media information, you know what to do, all right? Follow her on all her platforms. You will thoroughly enjoy her content, all right? Before we go, I have a gift for you. So we are still at the very beginning of the year. Vision boards still have yet to be made. Resolutions still have yet to be drafted. But we want to make sure that we do them the right way. We want to be reflective of our last year. We want to know what direction God is leading us in. So on my website, which is linked somewhere, child, all right, click on there, scroll down, and under the goodies section, there's a little downloadable journal called God Giving Goals. All right. You're going to click on that, download it, and use that as a template to guide you throughout the next couple of weeks, throughout the next couple of months as you're planning and praying and preparing to do that in the right mindset. All right, guys. So that's all we have for you today. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember, God loves you. I love you. And as long as you are still breathing, there's purpose in you. And if there's purpose in you, you can't give up now. Bye.